Hello, YouTube.
Hi, YouTube.
We are talking college football, more specifically coaching jobs today.
You have a funtivity.
Enjoy, like, subscribe. Please help the algorithm. Please help me make money.
And me too, and everyone else.
All right, what's up, guys?
Hi, Jack.
I'm going to take off the headphones.
You sobered up?
Yeah.
Jack, I said this on the episode. We talked about it. I thought you were a very cute drunk, and that's hard to do.
Yeah. No, I mean,
You were happy.
not really, because it was...
I did not think you were a cute drunk.
Let's be honest. I could have come in there and been a major asshole, but I wasn't.
Exactly.
I only talked about Hugh Freeze.
Did you save that for today?
No, I'm not going to be. There's no point in being a major asshole. Why?
And not only could he have been just because he was drunk, you also asked him to be an asshole. You gave him 30 seconds, and he said, no, I don't want to. That's a sweet thing to do. That's cute.
Why's Katie not going to be on camera?
She is on
is.
camera.
Jack told me to sit over here.
It's freezing in here.
It's fine. It feels good
So
in here. Every room in here is hot. We got a road game. We got a road game today, and I'm not sure you guys are up for a road game.
Oh, no, I'm up for a road game, and I will...
We went on the road?
We can win on the road, and I will tell you this, Brandon. I don't think you agree with me, but I would 10 out of 10 rather be cold than hot.
1,000%.
Okay.
I can live cold. I can't live hot.
I don't usually when you're in the cold weather outside, you have a hard time.
No. I'd much rather be cold than hot.
Oh, because you can add on layers. Like I can't be sitting in here naked.
You could.
Not now.
Don't you shame me?
Theoretically,
Don't you?
could.
Don't you shame me?
We're going to have a naked episode next year.
Yes.
Naked?
Naked?
You know
We're
what?
going to have a naked episode next year.
We should do it the day that I can finally have a high noon in the bathtub.
So we're going to have the naked episode in the hospital?
No. You can't have one immediately.
Why
I
not?
can't.
Why not?
I don't know.
I'm sure there's been like photos of like, oh, first beer makes sense.
All I
Bring
know
it to you in
is
the
that
hospital.
You never know.
I think you know.
Unnecessary Roughness 2023, spring of 2023.
Yep.
Crop tops are coming back.
Naked time.
Naked. I was going to say naked because you did, but naked time, high noon, all of the above coming to you very soon.
All right. Y'all want to talk college football?
Yes, let's do it.
Hello, and welcome to Unnecessary Roughness, Barstool's college football podcast, brought to you by High Noon Hard Seltzer. You almost look like you have a Frontier-type skirt on right now.
It kind of does.
Huh.
With my boots on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Frontier gal. Like we're out on the frontier, and we're talking about college football, and we've got High Noon with us on the trail.
I know you guys do it on the Yak, but let me tell you, Oregon Trail. That game was so fun as a kid.
We have the tailgate pack in front of me, which is 2 cranberry, 2 pear, 2 black cherry, 2 grapefruit. You also have the other incredible flavors like your lemons,
Peach.
your guavas, your peach, your kiwi. There's so many flavors now. Your lime, your watermelon, pineapple, passion fruit.
I said this when we went to State College in Ann Arbor a few weeks ago. You know, obviously it's getting cold across the country. You know a drink is good whenever it's freezing outside.
Yeah.
No matter how cold your hand gets, you're still drinking it. There were high noons all over that crowd, and I anticipate there will be tomorrow and Wednesday.
Yeah. I'm also hearing rumors of new flavors.
I'm hearing those too, but don't say what they
I'm
are.
not gonna say what they are. I'm just saying I'm hearing rumors of new flavors.
What was your initial reaction? Without spoiling.
No, I don't think they're winter themed. I don't know.
No, I would say cranberry is the most winter themed one we have.
I would say so.
Cranberry is a very, like if you go to grocery stores right
it's
now.
Thanksgiving-ish. Yeah.
Yeah, I will say my reaction to the rumored two new flavors. One, thank God. The other, I was like, huh.
Interesting. Yeah.
Wouldn't have thought of that one.
Yeah.
But one I am extremely excited about.
All right. It is college football. It is we've got 2 Saturdays left, folks. 2 of these Saturdays are left in this season. We're down to the nitty-gritty. We are figuring out who's going to be playing for this playoff. We're figuring out who's good. We're figuring out everything. But it almost feels to me also like we're on the cusp of an earthquake. I feel like we're on the cusp of a big seismic shift in college football, and I feel like we're seeing the results of that, or at least the precursors of that across the country. If you listen to rumors coming out of Auburn, you would think they're close to naming their coach with 2 weeks left in the regular season. If you listen to rumors coming out of Lincoln, Nebraska, feel like they're close to naming their new coach with 2 weeks left in the regular season. Same out of Colorado. I think they might be close. If you listen to all those rumors, we might be having these decisions made earlier and earlier, and the reason is we're on the cusp of one of the most historic transfer portals we'll ever see. The transfer portal saw last year, everybody who plays college football saw last year what freshmen like at A&M got and other places got, and they're all going on the market this year. I think we're about to see would half the players in college football entering the transfer portal shock you? 50%? That's a stunning number.
Yes.
25%? What number do you think 10% enter?
I think 10% would still be a crazy number.
It's a substantial number.
20 to 30 I'd be okay with.
I just think we could be actually, he looked skinny that time. I think it was just the sweatshirt.
I think he looks
There,
the same,
brother.
to be honest.
Really?
Yeah.
He doesn't like me, so I can't really talk about him much.
Oh.
No, let me take it back. That guy hates me more than anybody here.
There's no chance that's true.
No, I actually think that's true.
That is true. I don't know what it is. He hates me.
No, he
I
doesn't
have an idea of what it is.
Despises me.
I have an idea of what it is.
I don't care what it is.
I know.
If I had to make a list of everybody that didn't like me, he's at the top of the list. He hates me.
Yeah, not that many people really. I can't really name people that dislike you that much here.
Yeah, no. I'm a
Jack. You
a
a lot
teddy
of people
bear.
dislike me.
Oh, bitch.
But that's just because like nobody hates women like women hate women.
Correct. Even the women that like each other hate each other.
You know what Jack just basically told me?
What?
The women in this office hate me.
Nope. I like every woman is hated in this office because
Yes.
it's like I saw a clip today from the Plan Brie podcast, and they were like, friends of 3 don't work. Like you only can have one friend in a group. Like that's not an issue. Guys have like 35 friends.
Right.
If you add a second friend to your group as a girl, it's too much.
Also, if me and Jack and one of his buddies was there and one of my buddies was here, we were
They'd be
sitting here,
buddies.
and me and Jack got up and left, those two guys would just immediately be friends.
Yeah.
Girls can do that too.
Not really.
Not really.
No, they can in the
guys-
moment. They can in the moment, but 2 days later, somebody's saying some shit to somebody.
I do think that that's an age thing a little bit. Now, don't get me wrong. There's petty across the board with women, but I don't think that's a blanket statement.
All right. Well, now,
What were you
I
gonna
like
say,
Katie
Katie?
better than anybody else in this room.
I was gonna say that the amount of times in this office where I'll
well,
say
that's just a dickhead thing to say.
Can you let her finish?
No, hold on. Not her.
She was talking.
I am
it
going to let her
happens.
finish.
It's used to it.
Hold on. No, you're not used to it. I wasn't
Go,
being
go, go.
mean.
It's fine.
That's a dickhead thing
That's
for her
more
to say.
important. You bring the steam.
That's a dickhead thing for her to say.
Let her finish.
No, well, I'm going to let you finish. Bitch, you need to finish. You're the one that said I like her more than anybody in this room.
Oh, that's a fair thing to say.
Well, I was just saying that, like, normally it's like,
I
oh,
like her more
girl.
than anybody in this room too.
Well, I was more making the point that, like, girls can like each other.
But then if there was a third girl on this podcast, oof, it would not go
Can
well.
I make a statement and then you're going to let Katie finish? I like everybody on this podcast.
Okay, I wish I could say the same. Katie.
The amount of times that I feel like a group of guys in this office will hang out, one will leave, and then a few minutes later, someone's like, "Can you believe that person said that?" Or like, they're all still friends,
Point there.
but they do like
She's
snip. a
not
little
wrong.
Oh.
She's not wrong at all. However,
bit. Guys can get over it quicker.
yeah, no, that's a good point.
Okay, all right. How did we get there?
I have no idea.
That was you calling somebody saying he gained a lot of weight since he got here. Then you were like, no, he didn't. And then you're like, but that guy hates me.
Also,
hates me.
by the way, just complete, like, to add to this argument, if one of the other female content creators walked by and I was like, boy, that girl's gained a lot of weight since she started working here, this whole place would
Oh, that's fine.
this whole
I think it was just the sweatshirt anyway. Anyway,
yeah, been there, brother.
so we've got
the coaching news. You were saying the seismic earthquake is coming.
well, I think we're going to start seeing coaches get hired a little bit sooner. And I'm just going to tell y'all a couple things I'm hearing. First of all, Sunday night was just a fun night of twittering.
It was
Night of
fun
twittering
night.
out of Auburn. Lane Kiffin to Auburn, which will probably be announced the Friday after the Egg Bowl. But it was.
I did hear that.
It was rumored that it was going to be announced today, and I don't think it's going to be. So it'll be announced Friday after the Egg Bowl. But
Jack's tweet with Juice in the Auburn jersey was chef's kiss.
it was unbelievable. It was beautiful. I loved every bit of it. And just the idea of Lane Kiffin going to Auburn is enough to give me content for weeks. So I'm just gonna. And by the way, if Lane Kiffin stays at Ole Miss, I'll just find another job and put him there next year.
Maybe one in Texas.
Maybe A&M, yeah.
Imagine him walking off the plane in Auburn, and it's him and Juice. Just walking
Juice
down.
comes off first.
Yeah, Juice comes off first. Yeah. He runs down.
I tell you, if Juice in Auburn's a cute puppy.
Yeah. Oh,
Well,
yeah.
he's a cute
That'd be
puppy
a cute
regardless.
That
But
would be a cute puppy. Juice in Ole Miss?
Nah.
Y'all got to get a grip.
You really think they're gonna wait till the Egg Bowl though to announce? Because I feel like every player is getting like backdoor transfer portaled right now. They'll need to make sure.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he's probably already told the players he's going to take from Ole Miss anyway. So, yeah, you're right. It's going to be crazy for a couple of weeks.
I thought it was going to be crazier if they did it today than after the Egg Bowl.
Let me ask you a question, because I have a lot of coach-related stuff here. Okay. A lot of coach-related stuff. Now, that doesn't mean we're not going to talk about TCU and Michigan and the playoff and all that. But I have a couple of questions about coaches. One thing I'm hearing on this go-through of coaching hires, where you have Wisconsin open, Nebraska open, Auburn open, Arizona State, Colorado, Georgia Tech, et cetera, et cetera. One thing I'm hearing is this could be a cycle of retreads. This could be a season where we see retread coaches like Tom Herman picked up off the trash heap and thrown back in circulation. Bronco Mendenhall is a name I've heard being thrown back into circulation.
What a name.
So this might not be a year where you see the up-and-comers break through. This might be a year where you have guys who were previously discarded from jobs like Texas and other places getting back in the mix. What do you think about that?
I think that that's accurate. I mean, I don't know if it was the Nebraska job or the Wisconsin job, but Jack and I both brought up Tom Herman as a potential name, and I don't think that's a crazy thing because winning at Texas – once you start to win, it's easy because you're up there, you've got the program behind you. But to get back to the level that Mac Brown had them at, it's going to be difficult. But that doesn't make you a bad head coach. Tom Herman is not a bad college football coach because he couldn't succeed at Texas. Now, if he does what Charlie Strong did and then go to another smaller program and continue to suck, then you start to be like, okay, maybe he just was too comfortable too quickly. I don't know why you wouldn't give him another chance.
Matt Rhule is a name I've heard lumped in with Nebraska
sense.
a lot. Matt Rhule is a name that I've heard linked to the Nebraska job a lot.
Why would that
just
not
say
make
something?
sense?
Because I just got this feeling Matt Rhule is a shiny object that's not as shiny as we think. I don't know that Matt Rhule is as good as we make him out to be. Like when he got to Temple, and I can't remember I think he succeeded Al Golden, who put that thing back together. He followed behind two really good recruiters for those level of jobs. He followed Golden at Temple, I think, and then he followed Briles at Baylor. And as soon as the Briles commits ran out, the recruits ran out, Baylor fell off again. Rhule, I don't know. Maybe it's just maybe I'm just being too hypercritical. Maybe I'm just being dumb because Matt Rhule, if you look at his record, and Matt Rhule was after Steve Addazio and not Al Golden, although when he got there, Golden recruits were still there. He went 2-10 his first year, and then went 6-6, had a couple good years, and then he succeeded Briles and had a couple good years at Baylor. I don't know, something the way he spectacularly failed in the NFL, and I know it's a different game. I think a Nebraska fan, I don't know.
He's an interesting case to me because he did spectacularly fail, like you just said, with the Panthers. However, the Panthers were already kind of in disarray as it was, but he wasn't in college long enough to prove that he could be a long-standing college football coach either, which I do think we've seen in the past happen.
Yeah.
But I think he deserves another chance because he turned Temple around. And yes, Baylor still had some recruits there, but after what happened with Art Briles and all the off-the-field stuff, to get Baylor back into not even just the state of Texas, back to having the respect there, but just the respect of the country, I do think that says he can build a program.
Well, we'll see.
At least change the narrative of one.
I do think if he wants a job, he'll get a job. I know that, and we'll go from there. My second coach observation is this. Who is the coach of the year in this country? We talk so much about Heisman Trophy winners. We talk about that ad nauseum. Who's the coach of the year in this country? I wrote down 5, and it's probably going to come out of this list if you have anybody to add.
Can I guess your number one?
Who?
You have him ranked?
Not really. I just wrote them down.
Josh Heupel?
I don't know that he should be number 1, but is it Josh Heupel? Josh Heupel is way up there. Lincoln Riley has to get a look because he changed the program as soon as he got there. Mac Brown at North Carolina Nobody would ever say, but listen, if they win the ACC, if they like get close to this playoff, why wouldn't you say him? He's replaced his quarterback, Lance Leipold, for what he's done, and then the guy who probably has to win it at this point, Sonny Dykes.
Yeah.
At TCU.
I mean, come on.
What?
You forgot somebody.
All
Jim
right.
Mora.
In that group?
Well, I mean, I get
I guess
that.
if Leipold's in there,
Maybe we could do a Power 5 G5.
He's very similar to Leipold in that he took a place that was really down and he's won 6 games. So yeah, okay.
But
I think Mora could be in the mix.
I think, in my opinion, it would come down to Dykes, Leipold, and I think Heupel.
Yeah.
Now, I think they'd be kind of like, you know how they'll split it up sometimes.
I mean, if Dykes goes undefeated, he's probably going to get it. But if he doesn't,
And also, I think you would benefit from having a G5 Heisman. I know, not to say they couldn't win the Power 5 Heisman, and then also kind of AL, NL, MVP. Not that AL and NL are very similar, but a G5 Coach of the Year, I think Jim Mora would probably be up there.
Absolutely.
Do you think Sonny Dykes is messing up the future of first-year head coaches? Like, he's setting the bar way too high?
no, I don't think so. I think
What are some
I think the
other-
bar has changed anyway. I think the bar has changed anyway because Lincoln Riley is doing the same thing. He's got a loss, but Lincoln Riley changed that team in about a week in the offseason. With the portal and NIL, I don't think you're going to get the year of building anymore. I don't think you're going to get the year of, all right, well, he went 3-9, but he did it with somebody else's players. Now, you're not really doing it with somebody else's players. You have the chance to bring in your guys, bring in a full class of guys. So I don't know that it's Sonny Dykes messing up that for everybody. I think the bar has just changed.
Like, this year's first-year head coaches as a whole.
Yeah, no, well, he far outclasses that group, right? I'm trying to think of who.
Jim Mora.
Yeah, Jim Mora. Jim Mora's in there.
I mean, Lincoln Riley.
Right. I mean, Lincoln Riley's right there too. But I do think that it'll. So when they name Coach of the Year around the same time as the Heisman, obviously.
I think they wait till the end.
They wait till after the playoff?
Yeah, don't they? Isn't it part of the college football awards whenever they do that?
I thought that was in December.
Okay, well, that's when they think.
So before but I mean, it'll come down to if TCU goes undefeated and is in the playoff, it's going to be Sonny Dykes. If they're not, I feel like it's going to be Josh Heupel.
TCU, I mean, Dykes should still get it, but yeah, Heupel would.
It says on January 11th for this year.
Oh,
Okay, well,
so it is actually the national championship.
They have that little award show, but I guess they don't give Coach of the Year there.
Yeah,
because it's more players.
Probably wait to see who wins the everything, and
They should give the
also,
Heisman after the
it's
national
also kind of-
title.
It's also kind of smart to wait till after the coaching carousel to give that award out.
Yeah, because
You don't want it'd be awkward to give it to like.
Sonny Dykes and he goes to Nebraska.
That'd be hilarious.
I'm not saying
That's
he's
not
going.
happening.
That's not happening. But if that would be,
I think they should wait to give all awards until after the games are over.
I
But
like the Heisman where it is.
You
but
do?
Yeah, I do. I mean,
I don't know. Like you look at like Deshaun Watson that year. I feel like he should have won that Heisman that year, but it is solely because of what happened in the playoff.
So all this coach talk got me to the activity I have brought forth to you guys.
I love activities.
I have a funtivity if everybody wants to participate
what?
in a funtivity.
I've never heard that. It sounds like nativity.
Was that not on Step Brothers?
I think it was. Yeah. I've
No.
heard of Funtivity.
No, he said.
Funtivity is The Office.
I'm about to say because Step Brothers is
I
like
think
there's so
Funtivity
much
is
room for
yes,
activities.
Funtivities. I think that's The Office.
Okay, yeah, because Step Brothers is when
so
they're
so much room for activities.
Yes.
So many activities. Yeah.
so much room for
It's
activities.
I think Funtivities is The Office. Yes, Funtivities. I think
Yeah,
that's-
season 3, beach games.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to go back and rewatch The Office. I've only casually watched it. I miss every single Office reference you have. It makes me sad.
I make a lot of them.
I know. I mean, I got to the point now where if I get I sent you the tweet. Somebody compared me and Dan eating sandwiches to something that happened on The Office. I had no idea if I was supposed to be offended or not.
I didn't even get that one, so you were okay. Here's
okay.
the funtivity for
Let's
today.
do funtivities.
I've watched
I don't know.
teams. I've watched teams like South Carolina. Why are you looking at me so
can't-
dismissive?
I just Giselle's has been
Yes.
dating her jujitsu instructor
Trainer,
for the
yeah.
past 8
You
months.
see who Pete Davidson's dating now?
Yeah.
Who?
Are you surprised, though?
How did I
Yeah.
miss this? Who?
Emily Rada.
Emily Ratajkowski?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, are you shocked Pete Davidson gets the hottest woman on the planet?
This is the best one yet. Yeah.
Well, Well, from a look standpoint, maybe, but I don't like from a clout standpoint. It's definitely Kim Kardashian.
Yeah.
I don't care about clout. I care Emily Ratajkowski.
I thought Emily Ratajkowski was dating a DJ.
I don't know who that is.
Doesn't she have a kid?
No,
Yeah.
DJ's married to Paulina Gretzky.
She's also hot.
Yes.
No, Giselle is dating her jiu-jitsu trainer.
What if
Has been.
y'all let me do my activity?
Okay. Funtivity.
Funtivity.
Yes.
I've been watching teams like South Carolina, and if you've noticed, coming into this year, South Carolina fans knew that the Shane Beamer train was going to roll, and it was going to be great. You notice they're not very happy right now. They want to fire their offensive coordinator, and they're having significant second thoughts if Beamer is the guy, which got me to thinking, in these conferences, in America, how many teams per conference know they have the right guy? How many teams know they have the right guy? How many teams are saying, I don't know if he's the guy or not. We'll see. And how many teams know
They don't have.
they have the wrong guy?
I like this activity.
Now, before we get started, I do need to talk about this. That's what the activity is going to be. I just realized we're going to have to talk about a team who's going through some real life tragedy right now. So that team's going to be coming up in a minute. What happened in Virginia last night? Senseless, stupid, crazy, wild, horrible, awful. You guys know that we are we're a college football podcast first, but we're also we're a lighthearted college football podcast. We like to poke fun at the sport and enjoy the sport and all that, and
The schools, the fans.
and the schools, the fans, all that. And when something like this happens, Virginia players Lavelle Davis Jr., Devin Chandler, Deshaun Perry murdered last night by a former player of Virginia, allegedly, who was arrested for the crime on Monday morning. Takes all the joy and fun in life out of every discussion we have. So we're just gonna obviously thoughts and prayers to those young men, to their families, to Virginia. It's an awful, awful, awful situation, and us even talking about it at length will not do it justice. And there it is.
It's absolutely terrible. And Jack, you quote tweeted a thread.
Yeah, three. It seems like these three wasn't like they were caught up in something they shouldn't have been. These were three like incredible members of the Virginia community. One was a transfer. One's been there for a little bit. And another's been there since he is not a transfer. One was a transfer from Wisconsin, but awful. Yeah, it's tough. Like you don't want to tweet those stories because it's really sad, but like you have to really talk about these players. We tweeted one of their professors talking about how one was more quiet but loved by his classmates, and then another was very just a great member of the Virginia community. Just awful.
Yeah, it's terrible. And anytime you see these stories come out, Brandon, like you mentioned, they're sad. You don't do them justice. But then to just see the social media outpouring of, it wasn't some shady situation, which would be sad no matter what. It was just an absolute senseless tragedy. Makes it so much worse.
So there's that, and we put that away. And
I put a GoFundMe for one of the guys' funeral service up. I'm going to try to find the other two ones as well if you want to donate. Yeah.
All right. So we go back to the activity, and we'll just dive right in. So what I did was we're going to go conference by conference.
Okay.
Which teams know they have their right guy at head coach? Which teams know they have the wrong guy at head coach? And which teams don't know? All right. I've already done the ACC to show you guys how it's done, and then we'll go through the other four conferences together.
All right.
Now,
you've given us an example.
Here we go. Here's your example. I have 7 out of the 14 teams in the ACC that know they have the right guy at head coach.
7?
7. And
That's shocking.
This might lead the country as far as conferences go, but I got 7 that know they got the right coach.
Okay.
Clemson knows they have the right coach.
Yes.
Doesn't really warrant much discussion there. He's the second best coach in the country. He's incredible. Dabo is the right guy for Clemson because they are a cult, and he is a cult leader. They're a match made in heaven. NC State, with Dave Doran, knows they have the right coach. Been a disappointing year for them based on where they wanted to go, but you can explain it away very simply with injuries. I believe Dave Doran is very solidly the guy at NC State. Dave Clawson at Wake Forest is the guy at Wake Forest. I don't think there are any doubts, issues, or questions. Anybody want to speak up here?
No.
All these make sense?
Yeah, they make sense. I'm also picturing social media, and you never see fans of those teams being like, fire this guy.
Mac Brown is remarkably comfortable and situated at North Carolina. I think Mac Brown's happy to be there. I think North Carolina's happy to have him. I think that's unquestioned.
Do you think that before this season, though?
I thought this was a key season for him to solidify it, and he has.
Okay.
After the injuries last year and Sam Howell and that team not living up to expectations, he had to be pretty strong or at least find his next quarterback, and he's answered both questions with a resounding yes. The Duke Blue Devils have their guy, as long as they can keep him. Mike Elko, the former defensive coordinator at A&M, has been doing a good job there. And I think the Pitt Panthers with Pat Narduzzi, I think that's a relationship that is solid.
Yeah.
I don't know that Pitt is looking to move on from him. So now, would you rather have the don't knows yet or the wrong guys?
Let's go to
Don't knows makes more sense.
I agree. Don't know. Go do it. Don't know. Don't know.
And the
don't
top
know.
don't know here to me, and it's a guy that coming into the season, like he's having a good year. It's Mike Norvell at Florida State.
Not going to get fired.
Now, some Florida State fans might say, no, he's definitely our right guy. He's 7-3 this year, and they're on board, and they're okay, and they think things are turning around. But Florida State fans are a fickle bunch, and Florida State fans are a bunch that demand national championships and ACC championships and playing in big games. And I don't know that even though this has been a better year than they might have anticipated, and they beat LSU and things are going pretty good, I don't know if at the end of the day you can mark him 100% safe like going into next year. Not 100% safe, like 90%. So I think you still don't really know that he's their lock, stock, and barrel guy for the future.
I think there are some Florida State fans that think he is the guy, and there are some Florida State fans that think he is absolutely not the guy. So he's in a good place because it just depends on which fan that you talk to. Because you hear the same people like, give him a little bit more time, or the same people that are like, he's had enough time, get him out.
I think Boston College is confused right now. They knew they had the right guy coming into the season, and they've been awful. Jeff Hafley, they like him, but this season has been disappointing, so they don't know. Miami doesn't quite yet know about Mario Cristobal. I'm sure they want to believe in him, but he hasn't. This first year has been one of upheaval and turmoil. Georgia Tech has fired their coach, and here are the teams that I think have the wrong guy in the ACC. I think Louisville, despite the fact they're 6-4 and have had a decent little season, I just don't think they like Satterfield very much. And
I don't think he likes them.
I don't think Satterfield likes them. I just don't think it fits. Maybe they'll make it work for a couple more years, but I think he's the wrong guy. And then I got Virginia Tech. Whenever a new coach comes in, you like to give him a year and stuff. But what's Brent Pry even doing there? They got better than 2-8 talent, right? Like this is god awful. They have no identity. They're boring. They're awful. I just don't see it with Brent Pry. And then, we won't talk much about this one because it's a day in tragedy, and there's much bigger things to go on at Virginia right now than this. But I don't know that Virginia's had a
spectacular season
either. So now we go to the.
Well, I was gonna say with Brent Pry too. What sucks for him even more is that because he wasn't a splashy name, because he wasn't like a oh my god name and lights type of hire, that does put you behind the 8 ball.
That's a very good point. Now we're going to do the Big Ten together.
Okay. I wish I had my notebook.
We're going to do the Big Ten together. I'll be writing down as we go. If you can pull up the logos in the Big Ten, just like you just did for the ACC, that was beautiful.
Yes, thank you, Katie.
It takes me a second. Keep going.
All right. So how do we do it? I guess we'll just go. We do need the logos though.
What if we just we go from we all say it at the same time?
No, I don't know. Maybe should we go through teams and then assign them to categories, or should we go through categories and pick teams?
Let's go through teams and assign them to categories. That's really easy.
All right. This is easy. All right. So
it looks weird.
I was thinking, where's Ohio State's logo? But it's just.
I thought too. I was like,
that's what I'm trying to find a better one. So
it is all the teams. I was like, is that Ohio State's main logo? That's not Ohio State's main logo, is it?
No,
no, it's fine. This is good.
And the name
It's
is
not your
Speed.
fault.
It's not your fault, but
that is their main logo.
That's their main logo.
It's an ugly logo.
Yeah,
It's
so if you go on
it's their academic one, not their athletic.
go on ohiostate.edu, I think it is.
Okay, very good. Ohio State believes and thinks they have the right guy.
Correct.
Michigan
Correct.
believes and thinks they have the right guy. What do we do with Michigan State?
Don't know. Because I think
they paid him $95 million and tuck coming. For most For a year and a half, they believe they have the right guy, but where are they at right now, Jack? They got the right guy or not?
No, I think you put them in the don't know, but they're the closest to having the guy, I think, maybe.
They probably lean
Maybe
more
kind of,
towards.
I'm not sure. That category.
There's also
He's not awful. Like,
No.
he's not no one's going to sit here and say Mel Tucker's. But if we're going by contracts.
that's what I was about to say. With what they paid him and the hype around him, I do think that it's like if I was a Michigan State fan, the way that I would feel is I don't know if we should have really bought into this guy for as long as we did.
I think Penn State fans don't know either. And
They go back and forth.
if they go back and forth, I just James Franklin just does enough. Like, he's going to finish top 10 this year. He's going to finish like 10-2 and number 10. And that's a good year. But when he got on the field with Ohio State, Michigan, they were outclassed. I don't know if I hold Penn State's job to a higher standard than they do. I guess they got the right guy
0-10 or 0-11 versus
against
ranked
top 10 teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's also it's the same thing. And I mean, granted, he's a much bigger story than just Sean Clifford because he's the head coach. But if you talk to certain Penn State fans, they're like, yeah, they do their job when they need to. But then when they get to that, hey, we're going to take the next level, we're going to take the next step, we're going to get over this specific hump, they can't do it. That's James Franklin.
Oh, they have the right guy.
Are we writing down what those fans think or what we think about them?
No, what we think.
You think they got the right guy?
100%.
I don't.
Make that case in 30 seconds.
In 30 seconds, I mean, the best case to make is just look at what happened this weekend. Like, your direct geographical rival outside of Pittsburgh, but in your conference.
Oh, no, Jack, I just don't know that you can judge Penn State based on what they do against Maryland.
Why?
Why would you're really knocking Penn State down the rung if you compare them to Maryland.
No, because if
I think they should be compared to Michigan, Ohio State before they're compared to
You
Maryland.
gave me 30 seconds and I had 10, it's all good. But
Spicy.
all I'm going to say is I'm comparing them in the microscope of, yeah, they come into our house and we make them look like little brother.
But that's Maryland. They're supposed to do that to Maryland. They're Penn State. I think Penn State's a top 12 program.
Yes.
15.
Okay, yeah, but like, do you think they should be beating these top 10 teams? Like, who would come in and beat these top 10 teams?
I think if Harbaugh can be elite at Michigan, Franklin should be able to be elite at Penn State. They're similar programs.
I think
I don't think there's as much NIL funding. I don't think there's as much glory behind. Like, Penn State, I mean, also, you still have to give coaches a little bit more time because it's not like he's doing bad and also struggling against top 10 teams where he's 1-10 or whatever. He is doing really well outside of that.
I'm going to write him down since you're passionate. I'm going to put him in the right guy category.
Like,
I don't-
there, and he consistently recruits at a top 10, top 15 level, and he has Penn State in the conversation every year. He has to take that step, but who are you gonna go out and take that next step with? He will eventually. At least you have to believe that.
It is the grass is always greener situation. However, I feel like if I was a Penn State fan, it doesn't matter to me. I would say I need my guy to win a top 10 game eventually.
I believe Minnesota has the right guy. PJ Fleck. I feel like, listen, they're relevant year in, year out. I mean, they're not great. They're not winning national titles, but Minnesota is solid right now, and I think that's as good as Minnesota football's done in a very long time. I think PJ Fleck in Minnesota, he falls in the right guy category.
Agreed.
Rutgers.
Wrong guy.
Wrong guy or don't know?
Leans more towards wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if I would
Shiano
fire
ain't the
him.
right guy. The right guy don't.
I mean, I like Shiano, but it's just not worked out.
If this company existed in LA and you're producer for that you gave a life in your world, I'm just kidding, TJ. But
No, that's
yeah, it's a great way there. We would make fun of Rutgers relentlessly, but for some reason, because like Tony Soprano, TJ, Rutgers, we think Rutgers should be this thing. Rutgers has never been a thing.
Yeah.
Agreed.
They were incredibly lucky to end up at any point in the Big Ten, just based off geographical location. Also, they've done nothing. They made their first NCAA basketball tournament 2 years ago in the first 40. They're an irrelevant athletic program.
Look at those records.
And so, like, yeah, if Greg Schiano's not the guy, who is? I don't know if there is going to be a guy.
I mean, they haven't had a winning season
Rutgers in the
since, what, 2014?
Their first year in the Big Ten.
All right. Well, I'm putting
Gotta
Rutgers.
give them some more time. Give them some more time.
Putting Rutgers in the right guy category.
It's not necessarily an indictment on Greg Schiano. It's an indictment on Rutgers.
By the way, Saucy Jack is bringing the knowledge today.
All that being said, though,
He hates Rutgers.
could end up looking at Matt Rhule like Greg Schiano. Succeeds, goes to NFL, comes back, and we're like, oh, maybe he doesn't have
That's
it.
what I'm scared of. Back to my logos, please.
I do want to give credit to Casey. She said it right at first. No, not the guy. They don't have the guy.
Thank you, Jack.
That guy doesn't exist, is what you're saying.
No, he may. Like Lance.
Well, here's a difficult one.
Yeah.
Northwestern
By the way, great activity.
has been this is going to be a while too. Northwestern, by the way, is really bad this year. But you can't say Pat Fitzgerald's not the guy, right? Pat Fitzgerald's still their guy, right?
So my
has
initial
been the
reaction
guy.
is yes, but then it's like this is
It's
this
the same principle as Rutgers. If not him, who? If not him, no, Northwestern. You don't talk about never being a thing. Northwestern's hardly ever.
No, Northwestern's been a thing.
They at least have success
Every
for
other-
seasons.
They went to a Rose Bowl in the
year, They
90s.
compete for the West.
Huh?
They're on the off year, on year. When they're on, they.
What I'm saying, before Pat Fitzgerald, they were very rarely a thing. He has made them a thing. I think they won.
That's what makes them different.
When he was a player, he won. They won. They went to the Rose Bowl in the '90s. But other than that, they've been god awful. He has made them a thing. Without him, they're nothing.
I think he is the guy that keeps them relevant. But if you're asking if he's the guy to bring them to success in the Big Ten, I don't know.
He's done it before though. Like he's won 10 games.
He's been there since 2006.
He's won 10 games 3 times. He's won 9
He's the
games
guy.
4 other times.
He's the guy.
I think you just you win with him and you suck with him, but that's your guy.
He's the guy.
And it's going to be tough to find a guy who comes in there, understands the educational culture that exists at Northwestern.
Yep.
That's going to be hard
guy.
to teach another guy.
Okay, we're at 6.
guy.
We're at 6. He's the guys. We have no wrong guys yet, and 1 don't knows. But I think we're about to. Indiana. I don't think they know. Go ahead. You say something. You say something about how I'm wrong all the time.
He had a look in his eye.
He does have a look in his eye. That's not even your computer.
Yeah, it is.
Why was your computer in here?
Yeah.
Okay, see ya. See ya.
There was no camera on him, but Dan did come in here like he was going to say something.
He did.
We all just.
I think Indiana's got the wrong guy. I think that year was a mirage, and Tom Allen's not good.
You also just don't like Tom Allen.
I don't care about Tom Allen, but 2 years ago when they had that one fluke year and Indiana fans just descended on this podcast and yelled at us for not having him in
Fair.
the top 15.
Yes.
I'm sorry, you had one fluke year, and he's not the guy.
He doesn't
It was
seem
a
to be the
COVID
guy.
year.
What would be the difference between Indiana, Northwestern, and Rutgers for if it's not him, then who?
I think Schiano and Fitzgerald have enjoyed real success. And I think Indiana's success was very flukish. They were winning games they shouldn't have won. They were winning games that they were outgained by 300 yards. Like they had this one year where they won football games, even though if you looked at their numbers behind the wins, it was never going to stand up. That's why. And look what happened this year when Michael Penix Jr. left Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody think he could be this good?
No. Well, I mean, you talk about the same Indiana fans that were all up our ass about Tom Allen. They were the same ones that were yelling about Michael Penix Jr. And after that, we laughed at them. We're not laughing at him anymore. He just needed to switch jerseys.
He was reunited with offensive coordinator
Yes.
that Tom Allen did hire.
Does Maryland have the right guy, the wrong guy, or don't know?
Oh no.
I think they don't know
They
too.
don't know.
He's recruiting well, and it looked like this year could be a thing, and then it just wasn't. Purdue have the right guy, the wrong guy, or they don't know.
Jeff Braun's perfect for them.
I agree. I think they got the right guy.
I think I would lean more towards they don't necessarily know, but I'll go right guy. I'll agree. Iowa.
I'm going to say something bold.
Do it.
It's 2022. Iowa's got the wrong guy. Iowa's stuck in a loveless marriage, and it worked for a while, and they lived in a good neighborhood because they had the same values as everybody in the neighborhood. Well, college football has changed. It's changed a lot. The focus has gone offensive. The focus has shifted to the transfer portal. And if Ferentz is just going to continue running out antiquated offenses with antiquated solutions, they're going to be an antiquated program. I think the best thing for Iowa football would be to hire a new coach, an up-and-coming coach that can change the mindset over there and change the mentality. Doesn't mean Kirk Ferentz hasn't been remarkable at Iowa. He has. He's won 11 games 3 or 4 times, won 12 games once. He's been very, very good, a very good coach for that program. But if I'm going the next 10 years, is he the right guy for Iowa? I don't believe that he is.
I agree with
I'm putting him
you.
in the wrong guy category.
Would he be the right guy if he gets a new OC?
By firing his son, I just don't think he's going to do it. I just don't think he's going to do it.
With the if, I'm saying. Like, if they brought a new OC in, you think
If he's still got the same mentality, it depends on if he goes out and completely changes his mindset like Saban once did. Saban once said, oh, I hate these new offenses. I hate these new offenses. Then he got beat by one and said, I got to get me one of these new offenses. If he did that, maybe. You think this is too bold to put Iowa on the
I
wrong?
think you're 100% correct.
Yeah, it's just kind of.
It's a different
You
kind of wrong
don't know
guy.
if the grass is greener, but you may. It's about time we look because we've done this
He's been
enough.
there since the 90s.
It's a different kind of wrong guy because you think wrong guy means the guy just sucks. He doesn't suck. In
It's
fact,
just-
he's had a long history of not sucking. But what are we doing in 2022?
And there's a bet, there's a situation, and there's a possibility that you do end up sucking for a while, and you find the wrong guy, and then the wrong guy. But would you rather be in purgatory?
I feel like if he's not going to adapt and evolve, then he's the wrong guy. But Jack, you're right. It's about time. He's been there since '99. It's time to figure it out.
All right, and
Give him a send off.
the last team, I put them in the right guy category. They have their guy, and that's Illinois has Brett Bielema. And
100% right.
while the last 2 weeks have not gone their way, I think everything else is going their way. And that discounts Wisconsin and Nebraska, who have no guy right now. Although, I think Wisconsin might be the most interesting team to monitor in the country over the next month. Because they have tricked themselves into a very dangerous, tricky situation. They have a defensive coordinator who played there, Jim Leonard, who graduated from there, who lives there, who breathes there. And they gave him the interim job, and he hasn't really won enough to give him the job. But if you don't give him the job, he's going to leave, and you're going to lose this great defensive coordinator you had for many years. They're in a tricky fucking spot.
And Wisconsin fans love him.
Love him.
Love him.
The best thing could have happened was they made him the interim, and bam, he just wins a bunch of games, and they put him in. Hasn't really happened. They've lost to Michigan State. They lost to Iowa. Yeah, they haven't been bad. They haven't been bad at all. But nothing new has happened for him. So
He feels like he's going to, they're going to have to make, like you said, a big-time decision that if they do give him the job, that Wisconsin fans will say, you know what, we agree with this. We're going to give him some time because being an interim coach after your coach gets fired is tough.
Hey, guys, this past weekend, you remember when I came on the podcast and you were like, oh, my God, he's so drunk.
I loved it, Jack. I thought it was very
neither
charming.
of us said that.
Anyways, that was because I was at UFC 281 at MSG thanks to Game Time.
Game time. They got their guy.
I'm guessing MSG for that night, UFC was a pretty penny. However, if you go on Game Time the day of a big event like that, you're going to get the lowest price guaranteed.
That's what I did. And shout out Game Time for helping me with that. That's because Game Time is the exclusive ticketing partner of Barstool Sports, created by fans for fans. That's right, Casey.
Remember when I went to see Justin Bieber? That was a great night.
Yeah, it's not just sports. It's not just college football.
The concerts.
I mean, Game Time sent me and Joey Camasta to Justin Bieber. And I mean, thank you to Game Time for a hell of a night.
Yes, we've been using it all year. I've said on the show multiple times, I've been using it since I was in college. And guess what? It's so easy to use. Amazing deals. It's the fastest growing ticketing app in the U.S. You're going to love it. So today, you're going to go and download the Game Time app, go to the account tab to create a login, and redeem code RUFF for $20 off your first purchase. I did it again. First purchase. Terms do apply. That's right. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets. Lowest price guaranteed.
We love it.
Here's a conference that's going to give us some discussion points. All right. Here is a conference, the Big 12, that's going to give us some discussion points because there are a couple of big-name teams on here that hope they have the right guy, and I'm just not real sure about them right now. But first, the right guy. We start, the first logo I see is Oklahoma State. It cannot be argued they have the right guy.
Mike Gundy. He's a man.
He is Oklahoma State football at this point. Whether they could both benefit from a change of scenery is irrelevant to me because while they've fallen apart the last couple of weeks, I think that consistently
He did rebound on Saturday.
Consistently, they're up near the top of the Big 12 every year. Oklahoma State has the right guy.
Yeah, no, you can't picture Mike Gundy anywhere else other than Oklahoma State.
And if he wins Bedlam this weekend, I think Oklahoma State fans will look at the season as a success.
Kansas State has their guy.
Yes.
Chris Kleiman. They've battled injuries, but they are a good team this year. They're built very well, and I think they're built for the future too. Kansas State has their guy. Matt Campbell at Iowa State.
I don't know.
They have the right guy, but he may leave. So is he the right guy?
Well, that's an interesting thought because we're going to get to Kansas in a minute. That's going to be the same question. But can I see Iowa State's last few years? Like Matt Campbell might be the most crowned coach who hasn't really earned it of anybody.
He's the face of you got to go when the time's right because if you don't, the moment may pass you by.
Yes.
It's like you see a girl and you want to go talk to her. You have to go talk to her immediately because if not, you'll get too nervous or someone will go and talk to her. Then it's over.
Yeah, you might miss your chance. And the thing with Matt Campbell, too, is that Iowa State fans, it feels like, and we do the same thing. We're not Iowa State fans. It's like, all right, when's he going to take the next job? When's he going to take the next job? Which means that if you are constantly waiting for your coach to leave, that's not your guy because you're not comfortable with him there.
So Matt Campbell, after his first year where they were terrible, he won 8 games in 2018, 7 games in 2019. In the COVID year, 2020 won 9 games, 2021 7 games, and they're not having a great year this year. But
I have a question.
This might be another case where, Matt Campbell's our guy, so maybe he is the right guy.
I don't think so.
Auburn hired Gene Chizik off a 2-10 season at Iowa State.
Correct.
And then he won a national championship.
Mm-hmm. Sure did. Funny how
and then
that
got
works.
fired the next year.
That's one of the most remarkable things in the history of sports.
That was just the fact that we didn't have Twitter or podcast around for that because it was the most brazen, obvious. We're just going to hire a guy who won't backtalk us so we can go buy the players.
Right, you're going to hire a guy
exactly what they did.
That won't tattle.
That won't tattle. We're just going to buy somebody we can control and see what happens. And they won a national title because of it. They hired a coach who was terrible. They bought every player, won a national title, discarded him as soon as he was done.
Still terrible.
Yeah, he
said that, not me.
Yeah, and he's still cashing checks. Good for him. I got to put Iowa State in the right guy category.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, no, go.
All right, well, you say no. You say wrong.
I say don't know.
Look at this, Casey, right? He's made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight bowls. They made 5 bowls in the 21st century before.
He's a winning coach there, but I feel like Iowa State fans don't think he's going to be there for very long. So you can't say like if you're dating somebody that you know is eventually going to leave you, that's not the right person for you.
You know what? When people say that, and that's fine, because I went through the same thing with Dan Mullen at Mississippi State. He's going to leave. He's going to leave. Stayed 9 years. Matt Campbell's been there 6 years now.
Yeah,
like he stayed 6 years. So even if he left now. You can't say, he was always going to leave. The motherfucker's been there 6 years.
Okay,
I don't stay anywhere 6 years.
Also, you had a great tweet last night, and it was more like a troll to Ole Miss fans. Yeah. But, like, Iowa State fans, I think, will know, hey, we just want a good football program. Mm-hmm. Maybe one day we won't be a stepping stone, but right now we're going to be a stepping. But that's the thing about college football. It's like it's okay that you're a stepping stone. It's not the end of the world. Like, not everybody's Alabama.
Just go get the next good coach.
Yeah, you have to find the next good coach.
My question is, I have him in the right guy category. She has him in the don't know category.
No, I think you convinced me.
No. I didn't want to. I wanted to have at the time.
Oh, okay, then fine.
Right guy.
Yeah.
Katie, any thoughts?
Torn between don't know and right guy, but definitely leaning right guy.
All right. Well, you put Iowa State in they've got their guy category.
Also, 2-year stepping stone tweet.
Yeah.
Other than Nick Saban at Alabama and maybe Dabo at Clemson, we saw Lincoln Riley go from Oklahoma to USC. So what programs are not stepping?
I think we might be to the point. We saw Brian Kelly go from Notre Dame to LSU. I think we might be to the point where every job is a step.
Unless you are one of the greatest of all time.
So we come to the University of Texas.
Oh, baby.
I definitely don't think you can unequivocally say right now they know they have got the guy for the future.
Correct.
Even though he's got arch committed, I don't know that he's shown enough in his 2 years to say this is our guy. Fuck all y'all. So it is between they got the wrong guy and we don't know.
I think you put him in the don't know category because we mentioned it earlier that to get Texas back to where Mac Brown had them is going to take a lot. Once you get there, you are the guy because the grass was, they thought maybe the grass was greener. They moved Mac out of that position because they thought, okay, his time here is done. They've been chasing that ever since.
I saw a stat on Twitter, and please let me say it right, that if Mac Brown had stayed at Texas the next 10 years, I don't remember when he got fired, but Mac Brown had stayed at Texas the next 10 years, and every single year he put up his worst record he had at Texas.
Mm-hmm.
If every year for the last 10 years was the worst year he had at Texas or equal to it, they would have 18 more wins than they do right now in that 10-year period.
That is the prime example of the grass is not always greener. They've been chasing Mac Brown's ghost since they fired him. They've not found it.
Dead.
He ain't dead. He's winning at North Carolina. I love Mac Brown so much.
Oh, it was Kyle Umlang. Look at that.
Oh, well, that's no reason. No wonder I didn't see it.
If Texas never let Mac Brown go and he repeated his 9 worst seasons at Texas from 2014 to 2022, Texas would have 18 more wins than they do today.
I didn't know that he tweeted about anything but A&M.
I'd never seen him tweet about anything but A&M either. All right, back to my logos.
So he's a don't know because
I got Steve Sarkisian in the don't know. However, by the end of next season, we will know.
Yes.
He will either be the guy or the wrong guy. I don't think he'll be in the don't know category. Texas Tech.
I think they got their guy.
It's his first year. You know what?
It's a trending towards.
No, I got don't know for them. It's too early. They believe in the right guy. They believe in it. But everybody believes in their first year coach. It's not till year 2 or year 3 you make a decision about this thing.
Yeah, but he could have had such a horrible
They're in the
year.
They're in the honeymoon, Casey.
That's true.
They're in the honeymoon. They love him, and they're going to fight for him, but they don't know yet. They don't know. They're guessing.
It is also, you talk about stepping stone jobs. I mean, you look at, Texas Tech fired Cliff Kingsbury, and then he immediately got a job in the NFL. It's like, okay, you can coach at Texas Tech, you can have some success, but you're still obviously not dead and gone. He's had enough. Joey McGuire has had enough success this year for them to be confident in him.
All right, let's go to
Baylor has their guy.
Baylor definitely 100% assuredly has their guy,
Dave
Dave Aranda.
Are you surprised? Like Auburn or any of these coaches have. Why isn't Dave Aranda more?
I said it last year when they were hiring, when LSU was hiring, when other teams were hiring, and hell, when Nebraska came open this year. Why is Dave Aranda not the first call? Why are teams letting Dave Aranda stay at Baylor? Why aren't they making him say no? West Virginia has the wrong guy, and
yes,
I
with
think
their new AD,
took a big step today towards rectifying that situation. They fired their AD, which probably means they're going to be firing their football coach soon. Kansas,
right guy.
Auburn.
Kansas,
right guy,
has the right guy, and hopefully, for their sake, they keep the right guy. TCU has the right guy. TCU with Sonny Dykes has their guy.
You just said it's too soon for Joey McGuire. It just based off the 1 year.
TCU's 10-0. They're 10-0 and they're in the playoff.
They were 4-8 last year.
They were 4-8.
Michigan State, they pop up, pop down.
Well, we had this poll last year, they definitely know they have the right guy. So these things do change.
And also
TCU 100%. You can't say don't know. You can't say the wrong guy. So
I would have voted Joey McGuire yes guy because
that's what I said. Yeah.
But
I'll let y'all. I don't know, man. It's just
no, it's fine. But that was a good question from her to push back on Sonny Dykes. There is a possibility Sonny Dykes this year turns into Mel Tucker in 2 years. But Mel Tucker wasn't even good in his first year. It was COVID, so it was a weird time. It's hard to compare. It's not the same thing. But his first year, they went like 3-4.
The Oklahoma Sooners are 5-5. Just lost to West Virginia. I am ready to say my take on this.
Uh-oh.
Before you say your take, I think that most Oklahoma fans, if they were being truthful and rational, would say they don't know. The ones that want to be loud and want to be obnoxious are going to say he's our guy because they don't want to admit that Lincoln leaving was going to make their program worse.
Well, I'm going to say something to all of us.
Say it. Say it with your chest.
If you are jostling in between I don't know and he's our guy, you're both wrong.
He's not.
because I think he's the wrong guy.
Oh,
Just
wow.
flat out.
When
not a
you
good-
show up at a place that's used to winning, like Oklahoma is used to winning, and you go 5-5, and you can talk me down. You can say, "Oh my God, Lincoln took so many players, so much of people." You show up to Oklahoma and go 5-5. I saw a stat the other day that said the most talented teams in the Big 12. Oklahoma has something like 49 4-stars and 5 5-stars on the roster this year. This year, not before the year. This year, they got 54 4- and 5-star players, and they're losing to West Virginia, who wants to fire their coach. They're losing to these teams. If you show up and you go 5-5 at Oklahoma, something is very, very wrong. A bad year at Oklahoma should be through 10 games should be 7-3.
Yeah, 2022 college football team talent composite, which looks at every scholarship player on your team from their recruiting rankings. Oklahoma ranks 9th, not in the Big 12, in the country.
Yes.
They have a more talented roster than USC. They have a more talented roster than Michigan. More talented roster than Tennessee by far. They have 48 or 51 blue chip prospects, which is 4-star and above.
Okay.
And they're
It's 51, not 55, but
And remember when Trevor Knight, who played there, came out after they had lost, I believe it was after they lost 2, maybe 3, and he said this season is lost, and people were on his ass like, oh, how dare you? He was right, because Oklahoma, especially with the last few years in the Big 12, should be competing for the Big 12 title, even if they drop a couple games. You can make excuses that Dylan Gabriel wasn't playing in certain losses, fine. You cannot make the excuse that losing to Texas 49-0 and losing to West Virginia and being 5-5 has anything to do with other than the fact that Brent Venables was not the guy you thought he was going to be.
if you go 5-5 with the number 9 talented roster, number 9 roster in the country at Oklahoma, something's wrong. And I don't think he's the right guy.
If you look at Venables next to Cristobal, I know the recruiting as well off the field, but like on the field results, how do you compare them for first year?
Oklahoma's been good. Miami hasn't.
Yeah, Miami was so bad last year they fired their coach, whereas Oklahoma had to hire because Lincoln Riley got a better opportunity. And that this roster that was left behind in Oklahoma, again, top 10 in talent, pure talent.
Miami does rank 13th on that list, so there is a
Similarity, sure. Okay.
similarities.
Yeah.
But if I was to say something about Cristobal, he has been a head coach somewhere in one. We've not seen that for Venables because he's always been a D coordinator.
And also with Cristobal being in the ACC, it's like we know Clemson's been the king of the ACC in the playoff era. Oklahoma's been the king of the Big 12 in the playoff era, and he's now got them at 5-5, and there's still a few games left.
Yeah, at least.
Okay. You decided to do the Pac-12. I was going to do the SEC.
I'm going to pee.
In the Pac-12.
Before we get to the Pac-12,
Before we get to the Pac-12.
let me
Get to
tell
the
you.
Pac-12.
Let me tell you, the transfer portal's getting open,
Yep.
and I have a recommendation for a lot of these boosters out there. I know you got some big money tied up with, not directly getting players, but your shell companies and whatnot. So, and I want you to keep that money safe. So I want you to go get a Ridge wallet.
Do it.
Our friends at Ridge Wallet have been supporting the show all season. So first of all, thank you, Ridge Wallet. Second of all, it is holiday season.
It is. Can
And
I tell you a secret, Jack?
Wow, no. Or actually, yes.
Well, I hope my dad's not listening, but I purchased him a Ridge wallet for Christmas.
Are you talking about the Ridge wallet that is ultra slim and a minimalist wallet?
Yeah, his wallet is falling apart like a crazy person.
What?
The way you said that. Are you talking about the Ridge wallet? Yeah, she's talking about the Ridge wallet.
Oh, wait.
I'm doing an ad.
Okay.
Wait, there's more.
It holds up to 12 cards. That wallet?
Yes, the one that has RFID blocking
30
technology.
colors that Katie's showing us right
I've
now.
never seen that.
Puppies
Oh,
make me happy.
Tropical.
My God.
Puppies make me happy.
Wow. And wait,
Puppies
can you
like
scroll down a little
boobs?
bit more?
No, I
Is
think like
that
puppies.
wait, is that the key case?
Oh, my
Yep.
God. He's the worst person.
It secures anywhere from 2 to 6 keys.
Puppies make me happy.
And guess what? Your dad's more safe now with the Ridge wallet, not
Yes.
because he ain't gonna lose that because it's so cool, but also it's made with RFID blocking technology that protects you from digital pickpocketers. And Katie knows that's true because she is a Ridge wallet, and we have a little thing that helps us get into the office, which makes her life a little bit harder, but it shows how strong the RFID technology is.
Yeah, like you always hear it. I don't really, you're like kind of like move it on, but it's weird to actually see it in person. Like you have
You
to
have
take
to
it out.
take it out of your wallet because it won't scan.
Can't swipe in.
Yeah.
All right.
Are you talking about the Ridge wallet that has over 30 colors?
What about the Ridge Wallet key
Is
case?
that what you're talking about?
And guess what? Best offer. They just upped the offer. They just told me. They just texted me. They have upped the offer just because of how great this ad has been. Get the best offer at ridge.com/UR. That's the letters UR, and save up to 40%.
40%.
Through December 22nd. So that offer's there for a while, but get it now. You get your holiday shopping out of the way, 40% off, and make it seem like you paid full price. Wink, wink. I'm really bad at winking.
Are you?
Yes.
Give me a wink. Oh, you're not bad at winking.
Okay.
That was fine.
That felt
great.
kind of homoerotic. I didn't like
fine.
it.
All right, so there's Ridge Wallet. Now we go to the Pac-12. Utah, it has the right guy, no question. Kyle Whittingham. There's probably no better
He's
fit.
going to retire soon, though.
No better fit in the country. Arizona State and Colorado are searching right now for their next guy. USC has the right guy. Lincoln
USC
Riley.
1000%. UCLA, I think, has the right guy.
UCLA.
Which, if you would have asked me before the season, I would have said, I don't know. But I think we've proven Chip Kelly deserves to be there.
Now the rest of these are quite interesting.
I can tell you one I know for sure. They do not have the right guy.
Stanford has the wrong guy.
David Shaw is the wrong guy.
That's interesting to see if they make a switch there. I don't know that you can say that Oregon has the right guy yet.
I would lean to more towards
You
right guy,
don't
but I
know
think you
there.
don't know. I think
Sucks because once they have the right guy, he's going to the SEC.
And very well.
It does suck.
Yeah, it's been the storyline of Oregon continually losing their coach back south is still one of the crazier storylines there is, because they are a top 15 program and they keep losing guys to the southeast.
Every coach they've had since
Chip Kelly.
Mike Belletti, or did he leave?
Bellotti, well, Chip Kelly went to the NFL.
Yeah.
Yep. Mark Helfrich went to the NFL, right?
Did he, or did he get fired? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Back to my logos, please. You have now Oregon. I don't know.
Yeah, we put don't know, but lean towards the right guy.
Cal.
I
I think Cal has the wrong guy.
was gonna say don't know, but I can buy wrong guy.
They're just they play a boring style of football.
They do.
Again, like I said with Iowa, their defense has been decent in the last couple of years. They just play a boring style of football. Is that their main logo? Because I don't like that logo. Why does that L tail all the way under them like that?
It's always like that.
It's always like that.
I didn't
on their
say it
helmet.
wasn't always like that. I said I don't like it.
Oh, okay.
Bully for you.
Damn.
That
Cal?
doesn't make sense. The logo doesn't make sense. How the L stops and then curls back under them.
Cal has such a weird fan base too.
Yeah.
Think about some of the guys that have gone through there. But have you ever met a Cal fan? Like
No.
Marshawn Lynch went there. Aaron Rodgers went there. Sonny Dykes.
I have never met a Cal fan.
I've never met a Cal fan.
Hell, Sonny Dykes was there and couldn't figure it out.
That's a good question. Have you?
I've never had somebody in my that I've seen and on my Twitter mentions being like, "You guys need to respect Cal."
Yeah.
Jalen Brown went to Cal.
That is crazy. That's
All
a
right,
good point, Jack.
Continue back to my logos here. Arizona, they either don't know or no. You know what?
I think they know. They got the guy.
right guy.
They got the guy.
They were in the dumpster and
I
he
also
saved them.
kind of like the cut of I know it's first year and I'm being inconsistent here. I like the cut of this Washington coach's jib.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen him
Kevin
coach
DeBoer from
before.
Fresno
Yep.
State. Yeah, I think Washington has the right guy.
The only thing with him is that like, and I know like Peterson is the way that ended was weird, but like he did have. I mean, they were in the playoff.
Yeah, but Lake ruined them. Chris Lake, I
Yeah.
think his name was.
Jimmy
Or-
Lake.
Chris Lake's singer, right?
I don't know.
I don't know who Chris Lake is.
Anyways,
Jimmy Lake.
Jimmy
And Ricky
Lake
Lake's
was
the talk show host.
Chris Lake.
Yeah, it's Jimmy.
Chris Lake is a DJ who, and a bunch of, I think a girl once cheated on me at
Why
a
are you
Chris Lake,
explaining this?
a Chris Lake
Sark was at
Brooklyn
Washington.
Mirage concert. Swear to God.
Damn.
She wasn't really my girlfriend, so it doesn't matter. Anyways, Jimmy Lake was one of the worst hires ever. So
Yeah,
how he saved them is impressive.
yeah. So I mean, you have Chris Peterson who had a hell of a career there and got them where he needed to. But then yeah, you're right. Good point.
I think Oregon State with Jonathan Smith has very much the right guy. They're really good. They were good last year. They've been turning around. I like Oregon State to have the right guy, which brings us down to the craziness that is the Washington State head football coaching job. They had that shit last year where the last guy got fired because he wouldn't get a COVID shot.
Correct.
And now they got it's Dickert, right?
Yeah.
Good. I'm just gonna be God's honest truth. I googled.
I was gonna be like, I'll be honest, I don't know who their
I had
head
to Google
coach is.
Dickert. I knew who it was and knew about him, but I couldn't remember his name, so I had to Google Jake.
No,
Dickert.
like you could have asked me. Like I mean,
They fired Nick Rolovich because he wouldn't get the jab.
And then Dickert was the
he was
interim
on staff.
coach.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Washington State. They don't know yet.
They don't know.
They don't know. So most of that conference
That Nick Rolovich stuff was so crazy.
has the right guy. We finish in the SEC, and this activity is probably drug a little bit. So let's we'll pick it up in the SEC.
Before we get to the SEC.
Geez, how many ads we got?
That's a good thing, Brandon.
Yeah, this is a good thing. You remember Ryan Shazier, former NFL star?
Of course.
Of course.
Unfortunate incident, but he wants to make something clear. Incident on the field. A lot of people may remember it. I think it was Monday Night Football. But he wants to make something clear. When doctors told him he would never walk again after a devastating on-field injury, it wouldn't be his last play. For Ryan, miraculously walking back onto the football field was his only option. Because the one thing the odds don't account for is the will to overcome.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Don't Call It a Comeback is a new podcast from Wondery, co-hosted by Ryan Shazier, a former Pro Bowler linebacker with Dave Damashek, a former fantasy analyst on the NFL Network. Don't Call It a Comeback covers the greatest comeback stories from the past week in sports. Stories like Albert Pujols' resurgence to join the 700 Club, and major culture moments like Rihanna headlining the Super Bowl halftime show. 4th and goal with seconds left. This podcast is your weekly reminder that it ain't over till it's over. And who doesn't love an upset from the underdog nobody saw coming? This past Saturday, 5th round, I was at UFC, and Israel Adesanya got knocked out by Pereira. That was a comeback. He was going to lose the fight, but he knocked him out in the 5th round. It was crazy. Follow Don't Call It a Comeback on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, or listen early and ad-free by joining Wondery Plus in Apple Podcasts or the Wondery app.
All right, in the SEC, Alabama has the best coach in the history of college football.
Well, they want him fired.
They have the right guy. Well, they're all idiots.
Yes, I would say they have the right guy. Tennessee has the right guy.
Tennessee has the right guy.
Georgia has the right guy.
has the right guy.
Inevitably, Saban has to retire. Alabama is a great job. Do you want to be the person that follows Nick Saban?
You don't, but it won't stop somebody from going down there and collecting $10 million a year.
Okay.
You don't want to be the
hoping
guy.
that the recruits want to play for you, so you can at least have his recruiting.
Dabo's the only guy who can probably do it, to me.
No, the only thing is,
Lane.
Nah.
the only thing is, it's
Not going to leave Auburn to go there.
It's really set up nicely for you. It's high pressure. It's massive pressure.
Yeah.
It's like you don't want to follow Saban. You want to follow the guy that followed Saban. But, like, you know, you'll have the roster. You'll have the facilities. You'll have the boosters. It'll be tough, but.
All right, Alabama has the right guy. Tennessee has the right guy.
Georgia has
the right guy. LSU has the right guy. As of right now, and he won the West. You have to give him credit. Kentucky has the right guy. I know it hasn't been great lately, but they know for a fact.
I think Florida's a don't know.
I would say Ole Miss for right now has the right guy, but they're just keeping Auburn's coach warm. So I'm going to put Ole Miss there because Lane Kiffin's a hell of a coach, but he's going to be Auburn's coach soon. Auburn doesn't have a coach at the moment.
They will have the right guy.
So here are the teams left over. Arkansas.
I think they have the right guy, Brandon.
I think they don't know.
With how bad Arkansas has been.
How long do you get that excuse? How long do you get that excuse?
You know how they say when you break up with somebody, it takes half as long as the time you dated to actually get over them?
Yeah.
Well, he's got some time.
Like COVID year, they went 3-7. Last year he went 8-4. A couple of games went his way that shouldn't have. This year they're not very good.
They've been bad for so long.
I'm not going to say he's the right guy for them. I think they could do better.
I mean, they've been bad since 2011?
They were bad. Again, how long does they do? Okay. All right. So they were bad, right?
Yeah,
That doesn't account for the fact that last year they were 9-4, and this year they're not getting close to that.
that's true. But the Chad Morris years, putrid.
Are we comparing him to what they ought to be or what they were under Chad Morris?
I think that you compare him to what they have been for the last decade. Since Bobby Petrino had his whole meltdown.
Piano wasn't awful.
I think
Wasn't
but
awful,
going
but he wasn't
forward,
the
though,
guy.
I don't know that he's the right guy. I think they're in the don't know category. I know what they believe and what they hope and what they dream. I just know that he's not as good as they think.
That's you know what? I will accept that.
And I'm writing them in the don't know category because
Fine.
I've got the pen and you don't.
That's fine.
And you're a woman. You probably don't even know how to write out Arkansas.
At least I know that you can't get rid of snow and ice with water.
Yes, you do. Why's my sister leaving so early? Oh, shit, it's 5 o'clock. Damn.
Don't out her like that.
I'm saying Vanderbilt doesn't know because
Leaning towards right. I mean, after
It's leaning towards
it's
right.
one win.
yeah.
I would say that Missouri doesn't know, but leaning towards right guy.
I would
They
say
like Drinkwitz.
I think they're leaning towards wrong guy.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought that they liked him.
What do you think, Jack?
That means he's in a don't know situation.
Don't know. For sure.
All right.
I think Florida doesn't know. I know I mentioned it. I don't think they know. I think they want to know. I think they want to pretend like they know.
Personally, I'm going to write down the don't know. I think Florida has the wrong guy. I think Florida has the wrong guy, and they're going to find that out very, very soon. Mississippi State, we don't know.
I was going to say, you have to say don't know.
We don't know, but it's a weird spot because he came in the same year as Lane. If Lane hadn't come to Ole Miss and been better, then Mike Leach would be looked upon a lot more favorably by Mississippi State fans. Mm-hmm. He's winning 7-8 games a year, which is pretty much as good as you can hope to do on an annual basis for Mississippi State, other than a random 9-win, 10-win year. But the fact that Lane's doing it great at Ole Miss makes him look worse. So we don't know. All right. Is that 14 teams?
Well, you've missed one.
I think South Carolina's got the wrong guy.
I think that I would lean towards don't know, just because I think they should give him one more year. But I lean towards wrong too. They
should give him one more year, but that doesn't mean he's not the wrong guy.
Yeah, but there is an element of they were dead dogs and then they got off the mat a little bit. He seems to be excited. I don't know. I guess I would say I know.
No, Texas A&M has the wrong guy.
Yeah, I'm sure does.
And how much longer are they going to have the wrong guy is the question.
For a hot minute, and I will say that, and I know it's like, oh, don't talk about A&M. I'm going to say this right now. If he doesn't get an offensive coordinator, which he's not going to, because he sat up in that press conference after they lost again to Auburn and said he's not going to get one because it's just they need to coach better. Are you fucking kidding me? Brandon, it has to be just one more year. It has to be.
Jack, can I ask you a question? Is there any chance UMass beats them?
No. UMass is putrid bad, man.
It is when I tweeted.
No, I would think that's the only way they would fire him this year, I think. But if that happened, it would be shocking.
When I tweeted that A&M was being made fun of going perpetually 8-4, and now they're going to be 4-8, the amount of people that were like, bold of you to pencil in UMass, I was like, oh my God. Am I going to be sitting there on Saturday
33-point spread
dealing with a
33?
UMass loss?
33.5.
Not take UMass. Do not take UMass.
33? I think A&M's going to win this game like 17-10.
No.
Oh,
no.
Brandon, I think
Total is at 47.
All of y'all. I don't think you could put Air as the opponent right now in Texas A&M covering 33.
No.
All right.
I don't think they go out and score 33 points by themselves.
Okay.
I do agree with that. That offense might not know how to score 33 points. Regardless.
Chains out too, right?
Yes.
Yeah, like that offense is beyond. Like,
did you see that clip? The clip that I'm talking about?
I don't care about Jimbo. All right, let's fly through the news and then we'll get out of here. So we'll be at.
I had one quote. That was it.
Oh, that's scary.
Somebody knocked over the high noon. I don't know who it was.
Don't even read that. Don't do it.
Yeah, that says.
I know it's a great quote. I can't.
Yeah, that's fine.
I can't.
That's fine.
I can't.
Hey, sweetie.
I can't.
You're doing amazing.
I can't.
You're doing great.
Yeah, that was it.
We'll have the college football playoff coming out tomorrow night. We're recording again on Monday because we're heading to Maction. We're heading to Toledo in Northern Illinois. If you're out there in Northern Ohio or Northern Illinois, come see us.
Bring Brandon some heaters.
Yeah, gonna be cold.
The college football playoff will stay the same. The top 4 will.
Yeah, I don't see why it wouldn't. Again, we're just headed towards Ohio State, Michigan for one spot. Georgia. You know, when everybody says, "What if LSU beats Georgia? What if LSU beats Georgia?" Does anybody think LSU can beat Georgia? I'm asking a question.
Have you seen the spread?
Huh?
Have you seen the spread?
What is it?
15.5.
Yeah. I just don't know that LSU has the firepower to go out there and score on that offense for 4 quarters, on that defense for 4 quarters.
You know what I wanted to bring up, because I did see people tweeting at us when we were talking about was it Big T that said it would be idiotic
if LSU won and got in.
And people were bringing up Penn State in 2016. The difference in those scenarios is that if LSU wins, they have to beat number 1 Georgia in the SEC championship.
Yeah, and they would have a lot of they have other ancillary wins too. Wins over Ole Miss, who will be a top 12 team. Wins over Alabama, who will be a top 8 team.
What happened in 2016 didn't make any sense. It was hard to make the argument. However,
Penn State did not have 3 wins that will amount to what LSU will have.
Right, and they had beaten Ohio State, and I get that, but you have to look at it in a vacuum and say, okay, first of all, from what they look at in 2022 versus 2016, I'm sure is different. But if you have 2 losses, but you win the SEC by beating the number 1 team in the country, that is a wildly different scenario than what happened to Penn State.
All right, next time we come to you will be Thursday. We'll go over the slate. Not a great slate of games, and I don't know if it was you that tweeted, maybe it was somebody else that tweeted it, but Pac-12 kind of fucked us this week because we were going to have USC UCLA in a huge game, which will still be big as long as USC wins for the Pac-12. But
Oregon Utah
was going to be huge, and now that doesn't have the same shine. So
we talked about it on Saturday night's podcast. That's like the Pac-12 lost the weekend, but we also lost it as fans who were watching the chaos in that conference and really wanting to see how the race turned out.
Yeah.
Like it just lost its luster so fast.
And this is the weekend that people will all weekend on Twitter get prepared for Saturday. They will be bitching about the SEC playing bad non-conference games in November. I don't know what the difference is playing
Senior
a bad.
day.
Huh?
Senior day.
I don't know what the difference is and why people get all upset about it happening in November as opposed to it happening in September. What's the difference? I mean, if you play a team like that, it doesn't matter when you play them to me.
The only thing that is, it just stands out more. Where it's like, teams are going to play shitty teams in September.
Yeah.
If it's the second to last weekend of the regular season, you don't necessarily want to turn on a game and see Alabama playing the school of the deaf and blind.
My team is Mississippi State. We're going to go 7-5 against the hardest schedule in the country. We've played 3, 4, 5 teams that have spent time in the top 10. We deserve to play East Tennessee State in November.
You know what I'm
Suck
going
my
to say?
dick.
You know what I'm going to say?
What?
I don't think A&M deserves to play UMass this weekend. They deserve to play fucking Georgia.
I certainly don't want to watch it. All right. We'll move on now. That's anything else? Did we miss anything?
No, we
Don't think so.
We have to do one thing after we stop recording, or when the people stop listening.
You're going to be in a better mood next time.
I was a great mood the whole podcast.
We'll confirm.
Hmm?
Yeah, I agree with him.
I started off poorly, but I was a professional mood swinger.
PMS.
You just have to redo one thing. That's it.
He's a PMS, professional mood swinger.
No, the actual PMS. Women.
Oh, menstruating.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. Menstrual cycles. Up next on Thursday, Unnecessary Roughness, we will go through the menstrual cycles of women. Yes?
What's a woman?
That's Unnecessary Roughness.
All right, guys.
Did you try to get the last word?
I don't know why I said that.
Why did you do that? That's Unnecessary Roughness.